It's a dull Thursday evening, and the persistent hum of the city fades into the background as I, David Miller, sit in my dimly lit office, staring at the glowing screen of my laptop. The clatter of my fingers on the keyboard is suddenly interrupted by the buzz of my phone. I glance at it, expecting another mundane email notification, but instead, a message from an unknown number sears through the screen. "Your wife is sleeping with me. If you want me to cede her to you, drop me $50,000. My heart thumps wildly against my ribs. Anger, confusion, and a piercing sense of betrayal spiral within me. My wife, Julia, the woman I've shared 7 years of my life with, couldn't possibly be involved in this, could she? Shaking, I grab my phone and dial her number. It rings 3 times before she picks up. "Hey, babe, I'm just leaving yoga." "What's up?" Her voice is casual, light. "Where are you really, Julia?" My voice is a cold whisper, barely concealing the storm inside. "At the studio on 5th. "Why? Something wrong?" There's a flicker of something, hesitation, in her tone. "Nothing. Just checking in." I hang up, my mind racing. Could it be a sick joke? Determined to uncover the truth, I decide to play along. I reply to the anonymous message, "Let's meet. Face to face. No money until I know the truth." The reply comes swiftly, "Fine. The old warehouse on Logan Street. Midnight. Come alone." As the hours tick by, the evening grows heavier and my plan takes shape. If this is true, if Julia truly betrayed me, I would ensure she loses everything. Her social standing, her comfort, the life we built together, everything. By 11:30 p.m., I'm parked outside the decrepit warehouse, the darkness enveloping everything but my resolve. The silhouette of a man emerges from the shadows as the church clock strikes midnight. "You have the money," he calls out, his voice echoing off the concrete. "I want to see the proof first," I demand, stepping out into the open, my hand steady despite the turmoil inside. He hesitates, then throws a stack of photos toward me. I catch them, my breath catching as I flip through images of Julia, unmistakably intimate with this stranger. Rage and pain sear through me, but I mask it with a sneer. "You think this is enough to break me? She's nothing to me anymore. But you, messing with a man's life like this. Let's see how you like being destroyed." His eyes flicker with uncertainty, perhaps realizing he's underestimated me. "What do you mean?" he stammers. "You'll see. Just watch your back," I reply, my voice low, menacing. I turn away, leaving him in the shadows, the photos discarded like the remnants of my broken heart. As I drive away, the seeds of my revenge begin to sprout. Julia and her lover would regret the day they decided to betray David Miller. The battle lines were drawn, and this was just the beginning. The following day, the sun fails to brighten my spirits as I sit in my office, plotting my next move. My fingers hover over the keyboard, not typing business emails, but searching for the tools of my retribution. I find what I need, a private investigator known for discretion and thoroughness. I make the call. "Mark Evans," the voice answers after 2 rings. "Mark, my name is David Miller. I need information, and I need someone exposed." "Go on," he prompts, a note of interest in his tone. "My wife, Julia. She's involved with someone else. I need everything on him, his finances, his family, his dirty secrets." There's a pause, a scratch of pen on paper. "Consider it done. I'll need a few details from you off the record." Details exchanged, the foundation of my plan is set. But that's just part of it. Next, I turn to the digital realm. By the end of the day, I've set up several anonymous email accounts. My fingers dance across the keys, crafting the first wave of chaos. The emails are concise, malicious. To Julia's boss, hinting at her unprofessional behavior. To her sister, suggesting Julia has been hiding family funds for a divorce. Julia has been hiding her best friend, an insinuation of Julia's disloyalty. Let's see how you like bead of doubt, meticulously planted to isolate her from those she trusts. The afternoon wanes as I send the last email. My phone buzzes, a text from Mark. He's quick. Found the guy. More than you bargained for. Meet tonight? Yes, I reply, the single word a bullet in the chamber. We meet at a dimly lit coffee shop, far from the prying eyes of my usual haunts. Mark slides a folder across the table, his expression grim. Julia's lover, Tom Richards. Owns a few bars in the city. But that's not the juicy part. Mark's eyes gleam with the thrill of the hunt. What then? I ask, my voice steady despite the pounding in my chest. He's married. 2 kids. And from what I gathered, his wife is clueless about his extracurricular activities. A slow, cold smile spreads across my face. Perfect. I spend that night weaving my next web. Tom's wife needs to know, but it has to be irrefutable. I arrange for anonymous flowers to be sent to her home, with a card and selected prints of the photos I was given. The message is clear, ask Tom. By morning, my trap is set. I imagine the chaos in Tom's household, the confrontation, the betrayal mirrored in his own life. But there's no joy in it. Only a hollow victory. My phone buzzes again. An unknown number. You think you're clever. We need to talk. It's him. Tom. Meet me. The park by the river. Noon, I text back, the challenge clear. As I head to the meeting, my resolve hardens. This confrontation is just another move in a much larger game. Tom's mistake was thinking he could toy with my life. My mistake was ever thinking my heart wouldn't demand this vengeance. The park is quiet, the river a silent witness to the showdown about to unfold. Tom's there, his face a mask of fury and fear. You're ruining my life, he accuses, his voice low and threatening. Only returning the favor, I retort, my voice ice cold. He steps closer, fists clenched. What do you want? To see you lose everything, just as I did. We stare each other down, the air thick with tension. This isn't the end. It's barely the beginning. As I walk away, the pieces of my plan continue to fall into place. Each step I take is a step further from the man I once was, driven by love, now propelled by retribution. The game, after all, has just begun. The confrontation at the park leaves me restless, pacing the length of my living room as the city pulses below. The sight of Tom's clenched fists, the desperation in his eyes, it's a visual that fuels my next moves. But before I can deepen his ruin, my phone buzzes with a call from Mark. David, we've got a problem. Mark's voice is tight, urgent. What's happened? I ask, my pulse quickening. Tom's digging into who might be targeting him. He's not just sitting back. He's hired his own investigator, and I think they're onto the fact that someone's feeding his wife information. A bitter laugh escapes me. Let him dig. It'll only drive him deeper into the mess. Mark hesitates. Just be careful. This could get dirty. After we hang up, I decide it's time to up the stakes. If Tom wants to play detective, I'll give him a mystery he can't solve. I call an acquaintance who specializes in more discreet services. By nightfall, I have a plan that not only hides my tracks, but spins a new web of deception around Tom. The next day, as the sun casts long shadows over the city, I implement my plan. I send a series of cryptic messages to Tom from burner phones, each one designed to lead him on a wild goose chase around the city, looking for a non-existent blackmailer. Meanwhile, I focus on Julia. If she thinks she can walk away from this unscathed, she's mistaken. Through my newly established network of anonymous online entities, I begin to dismantle her reputation. Negative reviews pop up on social media about her work, anonymous tips question her integrity in professional forums, each one a nail in the coffin of her career. As the day turns into evening, I sit in my car across from one of Tom's bars, watching as he rushes in, haggard, exhausted from chasing shadows. He's unraveling, and every desperate move he makes only pulls the knots tighter. The phone rings. It's Julia. Her voice is shaky, laced with fear and confusion. "David, we need to talk. Please, can we meet?" I don't understand what's happening, everything is falling apart. I consider her words, the plea in her tone. "Meet me at Miller's Cafe." Wonder her words, the plea in. Sitting across from Julia in the quiet cafe, I see the toll the chaos has taken on her. Dark circles under her eyes, her hands trembling slightly as she reaches for her coffee. "David, why is this happening? My boss received horrible emails about me, my sister is accusing me of stealing, my friends think I don't know what to do." I lean back, my expression unreadable. "Maybe you should think about who you've hurt, Julia. Actions have consequences." She searches my face, looking for a sign of the man she married. "Is this you? Are you doing this?" I hold her gaze, steady and cold. "You brought this on yourself, Julia. You and your lover?" Tears well up in her eyes, but I feel nothing. The woman I loved is a stranger now, just another piece in this twisted game. "I don't even know who you are anymore," she whispers, standing up to leave, her figure small and defeated. As she walks away, I know this is just another step in my plan. I watch her go, every step she takes widening the chasm between us. This isn't the end of my revenge. It's just another layer of the trap I'm building, and I'm far from done. The night falls over the city, and I drive away, the darkness echoing the void where my heart used to be. The game is far from over, and I am not yet satisfied. The storm clouds roll in over the city as if nature itself conspires with me, darkening the skies above as I set the stage for the final act of my vengeance. The air is thick with tension, the kind that precedes a catastrophic storm, both in the heavens and in human lives. As night descends, I sit in my car, parked in the shadows across from Tom's most profitable bar, now dwindling in customers thanks to my insidious machinations. The digital trail I've laid out for him to follow has driven his business to the brink. Tonight, with one last push, I intend to send everything crashing down. My phone vibrates with an incoming message. It's from Mark, confirming that all pieces are in place for tonight's coup de grace. I text back a simple acknowledgement, my mind focused, my resolve as hard as the concrete building surrounding me. I step out of the car, the cold air biting at my skin, and make my way to a nearby phone booth, an antiquated tool for an age-old deed. Dialing Tom's number, I cloak my voice, deepening it to unrecognizable gravel. "Check your email, Tom." "It's all over," I say cryptically, hanging up before he can respond. Minutes later, I watch from the shadows as Tom barrels out of his bar, phone in hand, his face a mask of panic. He's seen the email, a compilation of all his financial misdeeds, fabricated expertly by a contact of mine, destined for the inbox of the local news. By morning, his reputation will be shattered. But I'm not done yet. As Tom drives away, likely heading to confront the source of his ruin, I follow at a safe distance. Tonight, everything ends. We arrive at an abandoned warehouse, the same one where this all began. I watch as Tom enters, his silhouette a dark blot against the faint light from inside. I follow, stepping quietly through the shadows, my every movement calculated. Inside, Tom is pacing, cursing loudly, throwing accusations into the darkness. "Who are you?" "Show yourself," he yells, desperation bleeding into his voice. "I'm right here, Tom," I say, stepping into the light, letting him see my face. His expression crumbles from anger to confusion to fear. It was you all along." "Yes," I reply coldly. "You took everything from me. My wife, my trust. Now, I take everything from you." "But why?" "Julia, she meant nothing to me. It was just a game?" I cut him off, my voice as sharp as a knife. "It was my life, Tom." Realization dawns on him, and he steps back, his back hitting a metal container. "What do you want from me now?" "Nothing. There's nothing you can give me. But I will give you this one piece of truth. I pull out my phone, showing him a video, Julia and I, days before his first message, discussing how we could test our spouses. A plot twisted into reality. Tom's face turns pale, his body slumping as the truth hits him. It was a setup? Yes. And you fell for it. Julia was never unfaithful. It was a test. One you failed. His betrayal, his deceit, the realization of it crushes him more completely than any financial ruin could. He stumbles outside, a broken man. As I watch him disappear into the stormy night, I feel no satisfaction, only the bitter sting of Pyrrhic victory. Julia and I, though conspirators, could never return to what we were. The hatred of betrayal, even fabricated, lingers like poison. I walk away from the warehouse, the echoes of my revenge following me into the darkness. Julia and I would part ways forever, the scars of our deception too deep to mend. The city sleeps, unaware of the tempests in human hearts, as I vanish into the night, leaving behind the ruins of lives I once vowed to cherish. The game is over, and all that remains is silence.